Solar versus Cure is going to be coming up next, and it's going to be an interesting series here. Solar has been on fire as of late, especially against Protoss. Like, I would say that Solar has some of the best ZvP in the world right now. He's been very successful with his aggressive style against Protoss. Here against Terran, it's a little bit more back and forth is what I will say. Yes, Solar did defeat Clem recently, that is true, but if you watch those games, it was Clem being hyper aggressive and failing in his aggression, right? We saw Hellbat pushes, we saw early stim timings. Like, Clem was very, very aggressive, and he was putting himself in a rough position after the aggression was failing against Solar. So it was a different dynamic, a different kind of back and forth, but we'll see how it plays. And likewise, if you remember, there was also a game where Clem, he missed the muta play. We saw Solar going to mutas and Clem did miss that. So it was a very particular series with very intentional builds and very intentional styles. We'll get into this one. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg, sorry, the red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our best of five grand finals here of PiGosaur Cup. Now, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Protostegosaurus. For those who are unaware, Protostegosaurus, he is the organizer, he is the admin, he is the person that runs this event, and without Protostegosaurus, this event would not be possible. That's why, if you know anything about the history of this tournament, originally it was called the Orsasaurus Cup. That is where Orsa TV had partnered with Stegosaurus, and Orsa TV was the main sponsor. So it began with the Orsasaurus Cup, and then Orsa TV stepped away, and then it became just the Stegosaurus Cup, and then Pig, after seeing less support for the tournament, stepped in as the new main sponsor, and from the Stegosaurus Cup, it is now called the PiGosaur Cup. So PiGosaur Cup, as Pig does provide a good portion of the prize money for the event. So Pig is a sponsor, and Stegosaurus is the organizer. So big shout to Stegosaurus for running the event, for hosting the event, for making it a reality. Without him, this event would not be possible. And a shout out to Pig for sponsoring and providing prize money and for alleviating that burden on Stegosaurus as well. True. Big shout outs. As we are going to be getting into our grand finals here. Welcome to the Old Republic. Once again, this is a very large map, and the map pool does have a very open fourth base. And oh, Cure already, he delays, he denies a third, he kills the drone, and a strong start for Cure. Wow, strong start here. Oh no, he spots the other drone as well. Solar just wants to expand. He just wants to expand, but he is being denied time and time again. Ay, Solar behind this. He does not pull back in the gas. He has link speed on the way. He's just droning. He just wants to drone up, wants to macro. And you can see the Reaper once again is in position here at the triangular third base. The triangular third. In the end, Cure, he wants to force the linear third. That would be a better position for Cure. But Solar, he wants to expand here instead. As the Reaper is going to buy time before being zoned away. He was hoping he could catch the drone. The drone now comes in, and finally Solar expands at the 3:15 mark to a very late third base for Solar. Late third, late economy, late production. Even a supply block. Oh, even a supply block as well. You might be curious, why is there a supply block here? Well, the hatchery gives supply. With a standard build timing, the hatchery would be finishing up and giving some supply here. So it's been a very rocky start for Solar, getting supply blocked, getting delayed, still supply blocked as well. The Overlord just now popping out, making 3 Overlords. And Cure behind this going for a third CC before Starport. Economic follow-up here. Interesting, he's going for the Viking before add-on swap. Usually you would add-on swap to get the Banshee out as quickly as possible. You can see here we're delaying any kind of Banshee play in favor of a Viking, in favor of hunting down the Overlord and denying scouting. So, oh, and he doesn't add-on swap. Okay. I mean, he did swap and then he swaps back in. So he'll go for the Viking, but he will miss the Overlord. Ooh, Cure, he's looking, he's hunting, and he barely misses the Overlord here, which means Solar will get a full scout, and Solar will confirm that there's no Banshees. Yeah, big moment here for Solar. He scouts, he confirms that Stim is being researched. Early Stim at a Cure. And the Viking failed to deny the scout. Yeah, you can see him turn around. He turns around. So nice scouting here by Solar. Solar did go lair first. That is an earlier lair. Gas is being taken. And this looks like 2-base Muta. Yep, there it is. 2-base Muta out of Solar. Now, how do we compare here? A couple of things. Insanely fast Muta play. This means that the Ling Bane is weaker. It means that we have late Eva chambers, late upgrades. The Ling Bane is going to be more vulnerable. It means that in general as well, Solar is vulnerable early on, and Cure is going for an early stim timing. So I do favor Cure currently. I do feel like Reaper Hellion would deal less damage and would have less potential, but opening up Hellion and going for an earlier stim and going for an earlier move out, we'll see what Cure can get done. Liberator into the main base, doesn't see much. Hellion's a denied entry into the natural. So far, Solar is successfully hiding his Spire. So far, so good. As the Liberator was sniped. And Stim is finishing up, building up the Marines. Now, what is the purpose of these mutas? It's going to be to ideally get economic damage. Remember, Cure hasn't scouted. Cure, he still doesn't know what's going on, so Cure is vulnerable. Like, there are vulnerabilities here back at home when it comes to his mineral lines, when it comes to the production. Mutas that have potential. Viking pokes in, and the Viking does scout the gases. This is a tell. But these gases are a little bit later, though. I mean, the scout is later, so doesn't give as much information. If he had seen the gases earlier, I mean, that would have been a clearer sign. As the mutas are coming. Making their way into the natural. Again, no turrets. Cure getting caught out. The Marines do respond. Nice reaction. Very quick. Quick to react, quick to respond. We have the turrets on the way. Got one for each mineral line. And ideally you have one in between the production buildings, but we'll see. Viking is hunted down. Does get one of the mutas. Solar is zoned away. And Cure, he's just macroing back at home. He's just turtling up. Just turtling up. We have a 4th CC on the way. Now, I do favor Solar coming into the mid game. What did we mention before, and what was applicable to the previous series? The 4th. Defending the 4th base on this map is insanely difficult. We saw that in the last series, Cure had map control against Creator, and Creator couldn't expand. Here, Solar has map control over Cure, and Cure shouldn't be able to expand either. So we're in a position here where Solar has a big advantage. Mutas, oh no! Jesus. Widowmines almost pop off. But the mutas so far, they have map control, they have vision, and whenever Cure tries to expand, that should trigger the ground army of Solar. Until then, Solar's ground army is going to be staying at home. Staying back, building up his Ling Bane. Ooh, Cure is pushing. Bold move. Cure is moving out. I do think the best defense is a good offense, specifically on this map. Like, instead of trying to defend your 4th base, it's better to be aggressive and fight for map control. That's why I enjoy out of this map. So it does promote fighting for map control instead, and mutas that get past. Oh. But again, there are reinforcements. Mutas is zoned away. Solar, he's busy with the main army. The 4th base is getting up. Landing the 4th is one thing, but securing the 4th is another. We need SimCity. We need bunkers, depots. We need SimCity here to survive. Planetary's on the way, but a planetary on its own is not good enough. Ooh, as mutas, they do barely get the turrets. Thor is here. Thor has arrived. Oh, massive Thor shots. Jesus. Oh my god. Thor volleys do connect. Solar's going to be careful. He bleeds out 2 mutas for 7 SCVs. So far, better trade for Solar. Cure is good as sensor towers, good as turrets. It's still a very vulnerable position. Bear that in mind. And it comes down to this push. Now remember, mutas, they're built to harass, they're built to contain. They're not really built to, they're not built to fight head on like this. So Kira, he has potential with his micro, with his control, where he could win this fight and get across the map. Oh no! Oh, Solar with a misclick here. He wastes some Banelings on the rocks. We've all been there. Solo, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Northern base goes down. Solo going for the backstab. But there are reinforcements at home to defend. The Widowmine shots. Oof. Yeah, Widowmines, they pop off. They zone Solar away. More mine shots connecting. Punishing Solar. Solar trying to take up into Ultras. That would be ideal. Oh! We get some decent Bailey connections. They're okay. They're okay. Nice cleanup on the Marauders. Okay, 4 Marauders go down. Kindness planning is on the way. Now, this is going to be a big power spike. So far, Solar, he has failed to deny the 4th base. And again, a big reason for this, and what I love about how Kira's playing, is that Kira's been very active. He's not been turtling. He's not just been giving up map control and staying back at home and allowing Solar to have momentum. Like, no, he's fighting. Like, he's fighting, he's pushing. He wants to make sure that Solar never has the chance to push into the 4th. Nice mine shot. Nice mine shot goes off. Kira pushing on the right-hand side. But the big power spike we spoke about are the Ultras. Ultras are coming. And specifically, what is the ghost count? 0. We have 0 ghosts. Now, thankfully, the Ghost Academy is done, and we're making 4 ghosts at a time. But Kira, he needs time to build up that ghost count. Otherwise, the Ultras are going to have free reign. Okay, is that the mine shot? As they pull away. This actually, the Muta play actually forces Kira back home. Uh-oh. So we spoke earlier how Kira was fighting for map control. I mean, he's now losing it. He's now losing map control. He is now taking a 5th base. Now he's throwing down some turrets. I will still say his 4th base is very open. And here come the Ultras. It's going to be a tough hold. Solar, yes, we covered the very extent. Solar, he has a lot of supply back at home, so he has to regroup. Bring it all together. And again, Kira setting up. More turrets are being thrown down. And again, Kira, he is taking a much more defensive stance this time. And we'll see if he can successfully defend his 5 bases. See if we can pull this off. Got the turrets, another sensor tower. I'm still a little bit concerned about the lack of SimCity here, or, I mean, there's no lack of, but there's less than I would like. Get an okay mine shot. Mine shot Blings. Oh no, the Ghost to get that behind. Yeah, rough position there, rough control out of Cure. He will lose the Ghost. Ultras move in, but there's not enough to break the Planetary. Planetary holds. Cure, he does survive. But those were some rough trades. Nice final goal, but no follow-up. Curious on the chase. Do you see Solo trying to remax? Cure breaking out. As he breaks out, we do have a Muta counterattack. Attempted counterattack. But at least now Solo's revealed his hand, right? Now Cure knows. He's out. Okay. Ultras are out. Ultras are out. Liberator production has begun, so going Ghost Lib is ideal. Getting to Liberators. And Solar is trying to find a better angle. You can see he's coming in from multiple angles at once, or he's trying to. Pulling away. Thinks better of it. Mutas, they do bust into the bases. He rotates this upside. Mind shots! Mind shots popping up. Decent connections. As Banelings, they roll in. Widowmines are late to borrow. Ooh, nice connection towards the end, and with that, Cure holds. Cure, he will lose his planetary, but he does hold. Does trade more efficiently. Do we throw away the mutas? The answer is yes. So only one muta. Only one muta left. We're switching into Corruptors, and this should be a switch into Broodlord Infestor. Or Corruptor Broodlord Infestor. That should be the end goal for Solar. But can he get there? As we're building up more Ghosts, more Liberators. As a result, the Ultras are losing their power, they're losing their potency. There was a window, but that window is closing. The window is closing on the Ultra. So we're moving in. The Ghosts, oh no! Yeah, once again, they get left behind. Two Ghosts get thrown away. Banelings rolling in, but more Ghosts have arrived. Oh my god! Yeah, Ghosts, they clump up the Banelings, they pop off. And we have a back and forth here as Lings, they flood into the bases. On the one hand, all the Ultras got sniped. On the other hand, though, the Banelings, they did pop off against the Ghosts. So some hefty losses there for Cure, and you can see that Cure can't afford them. Yeah, Cure cannot afford those losses. Solar can remax. Solar has map control. He can remax, he can afford these trades, and Cure cannot. So Solar may have just done it. The fights have just been too in favor of Solar. Two in favor. Here comes the remax. Ultras, they try to zone away the main army. Their bandits are connecting. Meanwhile, the planetary is also getting surrounded. Kicks off all the medevacs. Planetary goes down, and this is again the most important mining base for Cure. And he will lose it again. GG. GG gets called. The writing is on the wall, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very intense, very back and forth game. Honestly, I really enjoyed Cure's mid-game. His mid-game was what you want to see on the Old Republic. We spoke about it. You want to be fighting for map control. You want to be active on the map. You want to make sure that your opponent doesn't have the luxury of mass expanding and just containing you. But we got there in the end. Is the issue. We got there in the end. We got to the point where Cure was stuck at home, where he was stuck trying to defend on 4 and 5 bases. But once again, to re-emphasize, specifically on the Old Republic, the 4th and 5th base locations are very open. They're very accessible. It is easier to push into these bases as the aggressing player. It is harder to defend. Oh. It is more difficult to defend, so we did see Cure attempt and fail to defend his 5 bases, and with that, Solar did it well. Now we're getting into game 2. Jumping to game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Tourmaline. We go from the extremes. Kind of. Old Republic is a large map with a accessible 4th base. Here we're loading into a small map with an accessible 3rd. So early game aggression is more favored here. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of, top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. I see the biggest shoutouts are Este Protostegosaurus. Much love, man. Much love. All been there except Cyril. Never seen him waste his banelings on rocks before. I mean, I'm sure that's happened to Cyril at one point, but yeah, happens to the best of us. Relatable, relatable. Oh, but here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. Once again, welcome to Tourmaline. As we mentioned before, Tourmaline has a very open natural, has a very open entrance here in between the bases, has a massive entrance here at the third base as well. So because of that, early game aggression is favored. This is applicable to both the Zerg and the Terran player. So we have seen a lot of 8-Raxes. We've seen, yeah, 8-Raxes specifically can hit quite hard here on this map, especially if you expand towards your opponent with the forward third. Likewise, Roach-based play has been very common here on this map as well from the Zerg side of things. Show us what you got. So now we're opening up. I would say that this is one of the maps where it is not viable to go for the Spire. To go for a Spire and go 2-base Muta. We saw 2-base Muta last game, which is fine on larger maps. Maps like the Old Republic, Celestial Enclave, Winter Madness, White Rabbits. On larger maps, Muta play is more viable. You are safe to do so. On smaller maps like Ruby Rock, like Tourmaline, and like 10,000 Feet, it is crazy risky to go Mutas. So we should be seeing something a little bit different here at the Solar. If we see a Spire, then Cure should punish. Shit. Yeah, so far Curie pokes in. Behind this going for a 1-1-1. Sorry, my apologies. Was a little bit distracted. We do have a straight up 1-1-1 out of Cure hyper aggression. This can lead into a Hellbat push. This is going to lead into a heavy Hellion and a Banshee aggression at least. So faster add-on swap, faster Banshee, faster Starport, faster aggression out of Cure. And as we mentioned before, it makes sense. Again, this map favors aggression. It's why that we often see Roach builds by Zerg players, as it's very safe to play Roaches. As you can see here, we're pulling back into gas. And we'll see where the gas is going to be spent. Do we go into Lair first? Bailey Nest, Roach Warren? Show us what you got. As we have 100 gas. Sole pulled back in early. The Hellion will threaten the third. Ooh, okay, so he's going for a bit of an earlier lair. This is what, a 4:17 lair timing. So we have a slightly earlier lair than usual. No shot he's going Spire. No shot. Okay. Kier, as you can see here, he's going for his third base, thankfully. So he's going for the third TC after the starport. Hellions are going for the dive. They're trying to. Lings are in position. Hellions, they force their way in. And not enough Lings. Yeah, not enough Lings. Drones are going to get roasted. Does try to pull the boys. Workers are lining up. Oof, getting another volley up. Getting 8 drone kills. Not bad. 8 drones do go down. Ideally did want a little bit more damage though. I mean, that could have been K-mining damage. Does cripple, but Solar survives. Solar, he will survive. He'll re-drone. He'll retake. Meanwhile, the Banshee does hit the main base. No Spore in position. Oh, no. Yeah, no Spore. Did we scout? Solar, yeah, he saw the main with his Overlord. He was aware, but the pants are down. 12 drones. 12 drone kills. A stronger start here for Cure. The Lings are trying to be active. Last Cure, he is solid back at home, and Cure can now expand. Now the question is, how aggressive is the follow-up going to be? So far, we have Stim on the way, we have a 3, soon to be a 5 rack setup. Nothing crazy yet, everything's looking standard. Aside from the more aggressive Reaper Hellion this time. Sorry, Hellion Banshee, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, why do they call Cure the People's Terran? Who says that? What? As Cure does move out. I would say that, if anyone, I think Bjorn is more of a People's Terran sort of player. I think a lot of people can, like, I think he has a little bit more charisma, and a lot of people can get behind him. I mean, his story is just, it's, yeah. His story and his background is that much more, like, engaging. Referring to, like, him, you know, being teamless, and his BlizzCon win, or his GSL run. There's a lot there. So I mentioned a few times on Winter/Loco, no idea why. It's interesting. I mean, they have their own narratives, they have their own storylines, I guess. Yeah, so far does try to reinforce. Kites back into the tanks. Yeah, nice spread, very nice spread here. Cure here, sorry, Solar here overextends off of creep, back across the map. We do see Cure defend, and Cure is pushing in. He's going for the base. It looks like, can he break the expansion? Yeah, not enough banelings. Not enough banelings here. We have 3 banelings to defend. The base goes down, massive pickup. Do we focus fire? Oh, not quite. Picks up, pulls away, and Solar, he's on the back foot. He's on the back foot here. So far, Cure with the 1-2 punch was able to pop off with the initial Hellion Banshee, now breaking the 4th base, and momentum is heavily in favor of Cure. Cure is not all in, he's going for the 4th CC, but Cure is now rallying. He's now rallying across. Whereas Cure knocking down the 4th, and Solar, if he cannot get his bases up and running, I mean, he just cannot keep up. You can see he's falling further and further behind. That's going to be another cancellation here on the 5th. We have taken the center base. This is the last bastion of hope here for Solar. He has to maintain his bases, but more creep is being denied. Less vision here on the map for Solar. Losing more tumors. Oh, one baneling connects. One baneling does connect towards the end. So he's hoping for these better fights. He's still trying to maintain these fringe bases. Oh, gets 1, 2, 3. Gets all 5. Very nice. Gets all 5 banelings. Once again, just trading as efficiently as possible. Here comes the main push. Right through the center. And Solar cannot let this army get to his 4th base. Cannot let him get in. He's got to fight for it. But he's distracted. Okay, did rush into Ultras. Now these are vanilla Ultras, no upgrades. Baileys, they do not connect. So far he's holding on. And Solar, he's holding on. He's surviving, kind of splitting, is still a ways away. 2-2 is still not yet done. These are 1-1 Ultras, just now finishing up 2-2. Oh, the spread back. And you can see how much damage the Ultra takes from Marines, just because there's no kindness plating. There's no upgrades. Just not finishing though. Kindness plating just finished. Now, with the upgrades finishing up, with ultras slowly amassing, Solar can stabilize. Solar, he could stabilize here. It's still an uphill battle. But remember, Cure, he has no ghosts, right? He has no ghosts. He's incorporating a couple of marauders here and there. It's a very marine-centric army. And now with the upgrades finishing, the ultras are going to be so much more tanky. They can tank some marine shots. Ooh, but the Wooden Mine shots do pop off. Decent bailing connections. Solar has to be careful. Solar does hold. It does move out at the same time. Oof. Lings, they attempt to go for the run by. They get some economic damage. 2 SCVs. 2 SCV kills. Ultra does hold on, does defend. And Solar, again, he was at death's door. Things were looking dire for Solar. But he got away with the Ultras. He got away with them. He's holding. He's surviving. Solar, he's gaining map control. Or at least fighting for it. As Lings, they try to collapse in. Nice mind shots here on the Lings. And again, Liberation has arrived. Where is the anti-air? There is none. No anti-air. Liberators, they push forward. Corruptor production has begun. We get a decent fungal. But the Ultras are on their own. Yeah, the Ultras are on their own. They need support. They need that support back. And GG gets called. The 4th base is finally killed. And Cure, he will overwhelm. He will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played again. Cure, he had so much momentum this game early on. Remember, what did he achieve? With this Hellion Banshee, he was able to kill 12 drones. 12 drones went down. That meant that Solar had a more difficult defense of his 4th base, and he lost it twice, if not 3 times. He was losing base after base after base after base, losing creep, losing map control. Did survive, did get into Ultra Tech towards the end, so he was barely able to tread water with those Ultras. But even though we saw that Cure couldn't get into Ghosts, just because the teching up into a Ghost Academy and into Ghost production takes longer, he was able to switch from medevac into Liberator production, able to push through the center and of course break through Solar. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3. This is also why, as we mentioned before, it is a little bit more common to see roach base openers when it comes to these more aggressive maps. Tourmaline favors aggressive play, and Cure, he embraced that aggression heavily on Tourmaline, and the map helped him. GG, well played. And now we're tied up, and now we're getting into game 3. We're going to be loading into Winter Madness. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. We go. As in chat, Lings always seem to block Banelings. Wouldn't Roach Banes be a better combo? No, not necessarily. Lings often actually do a great job at locking down an army. So the way that Ling Bane works is that you actually have them in different control groups. The Lings, they ideally rush past the bio army, comes in from behind, locks them in place, and then the Banelings crash in and can lock them down. If you decide to try to make Roach Baneling work, the problem there is twofold. One, I think someone mentioned upgrades. Your melee upgrades, they benefit Ling Bane, they don't really benefit any Roaches, but more importantly, Roaches are much slower. And not just that, but you don't actually have that ability to lock the army down with your Ling support. Not just that, but also both those army compositions or both those units are very gas intensive, right? That's why you go one or the other. You either go Roach Ravager or you go Ling Bane, just because you're spending your gas on either Banelings or on Roach Ravager, right? You can't really afford both. So you have to decide where you're spending your gas, you have to decide how you're upgrading your army, and you have to decide how your army is actually working together and how it actually comes together as one, right? Going as, again, if you try to go Roach Baneling, technically, if you go Roach Baneling, you should never catch the Terran army, right? Because Roaches are so slow, Roaches will lag behind, Banelings move forward, and Banelings are just going to be focused down. Lings are faster than Banelings, so Lings should be ahead of the Baneling so that they can tank and also surround. So that's how they kind of like work in unison. Is that Lings are faster than Banelings, and you want the Banelings behind the Lings, because if the Banelings were in front, then the Banelings wouldn't connect because they'll be killed, right? Like they'll be the first to be shot. So Lings, they have their role. That's also why, we did mention this previously, but if you're unaware, that's also why the most important upgrade for Zerg in ZvT versus Bio is Carapace. Not melee upgrades, but really Carapace, because you want your Lings to survive, right? It's all about survivability. It's all about surviving and tanking to allow for the Banelings to actually connect and actually get there. Like you want your Lings to survive and take extra hits. You want your Banelings to survive and take extra hits. To lock down the army. Roaches, they have their place in this matchup for sure, but again, it's typically a much more defensive style of playing. I mean, there's a lot of nuances to that. Like there are Roach all-ins, for example, and I was mentioning it earlier, on a map like Tourmaline, it is safer to open up Roaches just because it's more defensive, right? To survive. Meanwhile, welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a much larger map of the map pool, very large map, longer rush distance by ground, much more defendable 3rd, 4th, and 5th bases. So coming into this is where we expect to see a more greedy build out of Cure. And we are. That's a 3rd CC before Starport. Remember, last game, it was a 1-1-1, hyper aggression, this time faster 3rd. Again, the reasoning for this is because of the map. Tourmaline favors aggression, Winter Madness doesn't. So here we're building up into a more economic game state, and we're gearing up for a longer game. Meanwhile, because of how large the map is and because of the tendencies of Winter Madness, this is where something like Mutaplay would be viable. Going into Aspire again, just like game 1, and going into Mutas is an option here for Solar. Not saying he has to, but it is going to be something available to him. That is going to be a 4:24 lair timings. This is more standard. Remember, last game it was an earlier lair. This time it's going to be a little bit later. I mean, I say later, it's still lair first. So we're going lair first. Already second gas is being taken. This is a really fast second gas geyser. So based on the lair first, based on the gas, I'm leaning towards Spire. We have seen Solo go for like a Hydra heavy style, like me and Mike S. Ooh, as Hellions to get in. That should not have happened. He gets into the middle line. 6 drones getting roasted. Lings, they try to engage. Nice positioning with the Hellions once again, and Lings are all going to go down. One more volley here on the drones. Gets 2 more, 4 in total. Oh my god. They almost come back too soon. 8 drone kills. 8 drones, not just 8 drones, but 8 Zerglings as well. Nice trade here for the Hellions. Behind this, we do have a safety Baneling nest. Banshee does poke in. Banshee pokes in, pulls away. Double Evo chamber. We're not rushing into any tech. Okay. So lair first into a Baneling nest into double Evo chamber. This is a very safe way of playing. Why is it safe? It means that Baneling speed can be prioritized. So this can lead into faster Baneling speed, leads into later 1-1 upgrades. It also leads into faster Overseer and faster scouting. As that is accessible with the faster lair. So the Overseers are out. Oh, the Overseer's out of position. Queen is going to survive there. Queen does survive. And back at home, we're just getting into our 3rd base and building up. We have a 5-rack setup, a standard production setup here for the Terran. We're just getting into the mid-game. Remember a game with Cyril versus Cure, where Cure seemed lost? I mean, Cure, we've seen Cure beat Cyril as well. Like, Cure is literally one of the best Terran players in the world. Is one of the best. Like, I would say that Cure has better TVP than, say, Beyond, for example. I even prefer Cure's TVT I mean, hey, we even saw Kira beat Maru in TvT recently as well. I think that was in EWC, yeah, in Esports World Cup. I would say that Kira's weakest matchup is this one. Like, I think that he has, like, there was a time where Kira even had the best TVP in the world. That was before Clem kind of took that from him. But I would say Kira's top 2. It's top 2 TVP. He has some of the best TVT as well. The thing about Kira, though, and this is along the lines of kind of like what he's known for, is that Kira isn't very flashy and he isn't really charismatic. He's not the same, like, unlike Beyond. Like, Beyond is very charismatic and very, like, down-to-earth sort of thing. So I think a lot of people can be fans of Beyond. He's also very fancy micro-wise as well, of course. Like, micro expression is a lot more visible, so it can be appreciated more as well. Kira is a little more standard in his play. I mean, obviously he was hyper aggressive earlier in this series on Tourmaline. No saying he plays standard every game. There we go. Kira, he does look to push in. Solo coming from behind, trying to collapse on the Marines. We get some decent tank shots. Yeah, decent tank volleys here on the Banelings, and with that Kira, he will maintain this position. The second tank survives. Solo trying to push off a creep into a siege line, and Kira's breaking through. Kira breaks through, gets 1, 2, 3 queens go down. Massive pickup. Solo, he's in danger. He's in trouble. One Baneling connects. Solo holds. Whew. Solo, he barely holds on. The tank was unsieged. But Kira does out trade. Kira, he has a better trade. Nice mining here at the center base. Kira's pushing in. Kira does move in. Does try to collapse in. One of the tanks gets caught, but the other does siege up. Yeah, does siege up within range. Manages to distract at the natural. Kira still applying so much pressure here. And these have been some rough trades for Solar. Oof, being dragged into tank fire. Solo being forced further back. Oof, Baneling does connect. Oh my god, but there's barely any Banelings left. Kira, he's so close. Kira is so close to just breaking Solar. So close to breaking through. Solo is just trying to survive until lurkers. It's very similar to last game, actually, where Solo was trying to survive until ultras. Here, he's just trying to survive until lurkers. If he can get into lurker tech, he can hold. He can hold, he can defend, he can slow the game down. Just needs his lurkers back. Oh, good, as this is not the fight to take. Yeah, Solo has to get the hell out of here. Does pick up the tank at least, true. Did get the tank. And now there are 0 tanks left. It took a long time here, but now he's reset the tank count. Now there's less pressure. Come down to the line shots. Ooh, forcing friendly fire. Oh my god, that Widowmine killed more Marines. There used to be Marines here, papi. Ay, ay, ay. The friendly fire. And Solo's done it. What do you see here? Lurkers. Lurkers are now morphing in. As we mentioned, Solo, he was just trying to survive until lurker tech, and he's gotten there. That lurker count is still very low. He still only has 1, soon to be 4 lurkers. But slowly, as this game progresses, as we build on more lurkers, then he's going to be more defensive, more defendable. He's going to be more secure, and he will eventually gain map control. So Kira's on the timer. Kira's on the timer. Ghost Academy is on the way. Kira, he needs more damage. He scans, he sees the lurkers, he confirms. And he cannot push in. Yeah, he just cannot push into this lurker line. Here he's rallying in. Widowmines will not connect. Yeah, he gets caught on board. He gets caught on sieged. Solar, he's holding. He shuts down the army, and Solar, he is now embracing his hive tech. Whew, okay, so momentum has swung away from Cure. And again, Cure, he was so close to breaking Solar. So very close. But now it's time to Solar to move out. It's time for Solar to move out. To break out of his contain. Here he comes, got his Lurkers, his Ling Bane, he's got 3-3 on the way, he's got Adrenal on the way as well. Curie has to get the hell out of here. Should be able to defend the ramp at least. Oh no! Yeah, Lurker shots going off, he does get one Lurker. Planetary gets surrounded, Planetary goes down, massive pickup. Takes out the Planetary. As you see Curie going for a double drop. Curie's desperate at this point. Like, he's desperate for damage. He needs to get something done, as he's contained on 4 bases. So on 4 bases, he's undersaturated. He only has 64 SCVs. Solo's already maxed. Oh, but hey, there's nothing at home to defend. The mineral line! Yeah, Solo's out of position. Completely out of position. The pans are down. 7 drones go down. Can he get the expansion? It's going to be close, and he can. He can, and he will. The base goes down as well. Massive pickup. You can see the massive F2 as Solo races home to defend. But it's too late. Too late. 10 drone kills. The expansion as well. You can see Cure drop back in. Killing more workers. Cure, he does catch some lurkers. Not the best trade, but does get the lurkers. They're on their own. They were abandoned. That was how many? 3? Yeah, 3 lurkers. 3 lurkers went down. There's 1 lurker left. Very low lurker count. Another base goes down. You can see how heavily everything swings in favor of Cure. The MVP drop just forced Solar completely out of position. 3 lurkers went down. Another base goes down. And Curie's back in the driver's seat. He's back in. Oh my god, that's a little bit of mines. We're gonna spread out, baby. There we go. They do spread outs. Ooh, mine shots going off. Massive connections on the Banelings. Jesus. Takes what, 3-4 Banelings to the face? Sorry, 3-4 Widowmine shots to the face. And then the turns, they've been tabled back. They have been tabled. Snipes are popping off as well. Snipes are popping up. Oh, force to pick up. Ghosts have to get the hell out of here. And they can't well. There goes they can't well. Nice control there by Curie. Pulls away. Gets out of range of the lurkers. And we're getting messy. We're getting very messy at this point. Earlier, Solar, he had full control of the game. The drop didn't just get damage done, didn't just kill drones and kill a hatchery, but he forced Solar to turn around, turn everything to react and respond, which means he abandoned his lurkers. Lurkers went down, that exposed the base. Base went down as well. Everything just went on fire. Everything fell apart. And now we're getting messy. He rotates. He's rotating over towards the base on the left-hand side. Where are the lurkers? There's 3 lurkers are on the right. So the lurkers are on the right-hand side. They're not here to defend. The Liberators move in. And there aren't many Banelings. Only 7? Only 7 Banelings. Pure Hydra's not good enough. Banelings do zone away. Okay, okay. Does use them well. Never mind. Ooh, Baneling kills a Ghost even. Ghost goes down. Lurkers are on their own. They should be sniped. Down goes 1. Down goes 2. Down goes all 3. GG gets called. Solar, he's pulled apart. And Cure will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very, very intense back and forth here. Initially, Cure had momentum. Cure, he was trying to break Solar before Hive Tech and before Lurkers. Cure, he barely failed to do so. Everything swung in favor of Solar. Solar, he broke out. He got into his Lurker Tech, got into his Hive Tech. He contained the Terran player, was killing planetaries, was mass expanding. And then it all came down to that drop, to be honest. That MVP double drop of Marines. He was able to kill the expansion, kill some drones, and completely pull Solar out of position. Completely pulled out of position, created a massive opening, and then GG. GG, well played. So very nice comeback there by Cure. And now we're getting to game number 4. Loading into game 4. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Falcons down in the series. And one more loss, and that is the end of the broadcast. That is the end of the series, the end of the finals, the end of the tournament. Guess I bounce back here and now to force the ace match. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Terran player, the Blue Terran himself, the South Korean Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Won't surprise me, it doesn't happen more often. Maybe the builds are too tight to fit them in. If you're referring to borrowed roaches, the reason why... Oh, we're proxying. Let's go. Let's do it again. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3 SCVs. Proxy 3 racks here out of Cure. He's going to commit, he's going to double down. Hyper aggressive build here. And we'll see if Solar's Overlord scouts this. Oh boy. Comes down to the Overlord, comes down to the scouting. We'll see if we can get a read on what is happening here. If you remember, Solar, Percival did this against Solar, and Solar did scouts. He did confirm. Solar, he will not check. The Overlord is parked here outside of the natural. He's parked outside. He will not check the proxy location, which means Cure, he will get this up and running. I'm not saying that this will work, but now there's a higher chance of it working. So far, so good. But I was getting at in regards to the conversation regarding Burrow is that Roach builds and Roach openers in ZvT were very common and very meta. He would play Roaches every game in 2023 and 2024 as well. But coming into this year, the Roach meta is subsiding. The reasoning for this is because of the buff of the Baneling. Banelings now have extra HP, so now Ling Bane is more viable. Meanwhile, the proxy is revealed. More importantly, 2 SCVs are revealed. So some misdirection here from Cure. He reveals 2 SCVs. His third one is kept back on purpose. Roach Horn's on the way. And Cure is going for the natural. Yeah, he's going for the natural. Now, what he wanted here by revealing 2 SCVs is he wanted to make Solar believe it was a proxy Churax, and he wanted Solar to pull the boys. He wanted Solar to pull the boys and lose drones in the defense. Solar, he takes it seriously, going for Roaches, giving up on the natural, and saving his drones. So good reaction here by Solar. He gambles well. The Gamba is solid. And now it comes down to the counterattack. It comes down to the Roach counterattack. As Roach production has begun. Again, this hatchery will be killed. But it's not about saving the space, not about this hatchery, it's about the Roach push. Back at home, Cure, he has yet to set up his factory. No factory yet. He's going for... Oh, he's going to try to make a stand at the natural. Okay, he's going for Marauders. So the goal here for Cure is to reinforce with Marauders and to maintain this position here on the low ground and contain Solar on one base. Solar, it's on him to make Ravagers, to get into link speed, and to break out and then counterattack. We got the boys here to repair. Concussive Shell is on the way. Second bunker. Again, Solar, he will slowly build up this Ravager count. And eventually we'll have enough Ravagers to bow this down. And then with link speed, he'll have the links to support and to break out as well. Right now we have the dance with the Ravagers. Just again forcing the repair. How many Marauders do we have? 1. Soon to be 2. Again, Cure, he needs that Marauder count to get up. Now, ideally, with a high Marauder count, this moment here, when the Ravagers move down to Bile, they expose themselves for a moment, and the Marauder could try to punish. Could come in and get the slow off, and then catch a Ravager. Nope. There we go, now we have 2 Marauders. And Solar has to be careful. He has to be so careful with these Ravagers. Lings are amassing as we speak. Who catches who? Oh, does move down. Yeah, he moves down. He doesn't quite get caught. Does take a volley from the Marauders. Stim is on the way. But yeah, now there's 3 Marauders. Solar, he has to be so careful here. He's going for it. Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for the dive. He breaks out. Breaks out. Bile here on the second bunker. Bunker barely does survive. Queens are going down. The Ravagers are exposed, and Curie's done it. Curie, he has done it. The Bunker stands strong. Cleans up the Lings, cleans up the Queens. The Ravagers, they're exposed. He's waiting for Stim. Gets both Bunkers. But there are so many Marines here. Oh. It's a cancellation. There's a cancel. Files on the army. You can see that Curie's zoning the army away from the bunker, making sure that there's going to be an anchor point. He's building up his Ravage accounts. Oof. And with Stim, then Curie can dive. Can't dive yet. Files, they do not connect. Very nice twist. GG gets called. Yeah, Curie has done it. And Curie, he will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. GG, well played again. Very, very tense couple of moments there for Cure and Solar. We saw that, as we were trying to mention, the Solar's goal was to try to break through that bunker. Meanwhile, it was on Cure to punish the Ravagers. We saw that Solar, he committed. He doubled down once he went in with the Queens. He went in with the Queens, and we saw that the connections were not good enough. He did not kill the second bunker. He only killed one. So we saw that Cure was able to stand his ground, snipe the Queens, pick off the Lings, and maintain his position. Solar, he failed to break out. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Cure, as he does overwhelm, does claim the series, is going to be our champion. GG, well played. We saw a lot of variety here, and again, a lot of it came down to the map pool. I'm really happy with how this map pool has turned out, to be honest. Really happy. When it comes to the series itself, if you remember, it all began on the Old Republic. It all began on the Old Republic, of course, where we saw Cure struggling to defend. We did mention at the time how on the Old Republic it is very difficult to maintain your fourth base, and we saw that they were very aggressive, very active. Honestly, it was a really good game one. Both players are fighting hard for map control, but eventually Solar took it. Eventually Solar was able to take that map control away from Cure, and was able to overwhelm and was able to shut him down. Meanwhile, on Tourmaline, we saw that Solar, he was on the back foot. Cure was being hyper aggressive, knocking down base after base. Yes, Solar eventually got into Ultras and eventually tried to stabilize, but it was too late. He was losing so many workers, so many hatcheries, so many bases, and was overwhelmed on Tourmaline by a more aggressive Terran player in Cure. He was hyper aggressive on Tourmaline, which that kind of play is favored. Coming into Winter Madness, we did see a bit of a different approach, a more mid-game play, of course. We saw something very similar where Cure was trying to break Solar early on, was trying to break his bases before Lurker Tech, not Ultras, and he failed to do so. Solar, he barely held on, he got into Lurkers, and honestly, Winter Madness was Solar's game. That was Solar's game to lose, and we saw that Solar, he was caught out of position. He was lacking map awareness, he was lacking map vision, and because of that one drop, I want to bring it back, that one MVP drop, it was 2 medevacs. It was 2 medevacs full of Marines. He got across the map unscouted, he was able to unload on the base on the left-hand side, he killed the expansion, and Solar turned his entire army around. He F2'd back home, which meant that he left his Lurkers. He left his Lurkers abandoned by themselves. They were exposed on their own, and Cure was able to catch him. He was able to catch those Lurkers. He was able to kill the base on the left, then come in on the right, the 1-2 punch. Solar pulled apart. He was completely out of position for both engagements, and Cure had a crazy comeback on Winter Madness, and then it ended with a whimper, with a proxy here on Ruby Rock. Did end here on Ruby Rock with the cheese, with the proxy. Very intense early game, of course, and congratulations here to Cure. GG, well played. Shout out to Solar. Solar has been improving a lot. As I mentioned before, I would say that Solar has some killer ZvP. Like, his ZvP is looking insanely good right now, just because of the meta, just because of how the meta has unfolded and shaped in current times. Solar's been excelling in ZvP. When it comes to a ZvT, it's still a little bit more up in the air. I would say that this is Solar's worst matchup. Solar has, I mean, we just saw him take down Raynor a couple of days ago in ZvZ. Solar, his ZvZ is looking insanely good. His ZvP is looking like some of the best in the world, but his ZvT is still lacking. I should emphasize, yes, Solar did defeat Clem last week in ZvT, that is true, but we casted those games, and if you remember, those were very specific builds and very specific styles. We saw like Clem fail with like a Hellbat push. We saw Solar went 2-base Muta and he hit it well, and he was able to catch Clem off guard with 2-base Muta. Like, there were some very specific situations. We didn't really get to see like a lot of macro back and forth between Clem and Solar, so it was a much shorter series, much shorter between Clem and Solar. I think we saw more macro here between Solar and Cure. where Cure was able to excel, and GG, well played. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Yo, Protos de Gazores, thanks for the cast lights. Fun long nights. Yes. A bit of a longer broadcast here tonight. I'm starving. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Get some food, and rest up and get ready for the evening. Get ready for the evening back. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. I hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the casting. Hope you enjoyed the StarCraft. After ZZ1000. You're welcome. But thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. For now, we're going to be wrapping up here. Stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so give him some support, give him some love. Enki, papi. See Enki giving Babylings a raid. We'll give Babylings a raid as well. All the Ducklings support. But thanks for watching. I might stream later on tonight. I do stream on my personal channel, !light in the chat. I might ladder a little bit. I'm still on the fence. I still got to rest up and get some food. I might do a ladder stream, or we might play some Final Fantasy. One or the other. So you can follow me there if you wish. I do not ladder on this channel. We do try to make sure that the Cranky Ducklings is just for like team content for casting purposes. So, and for talk shows as well. So we try to like leave it professional here on the Cranky Ducklings. So yeah, if you want to tune into my personal content, I'm live on my personal channel. Otherwise, if you want to support the Cranky Ducklings, you can do so via following us, !socials in the chat. !socials. As you can see here, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. You can join us on Discord. We do live stream on YouTube at the same time as Twitch, so we're live on YouTube as well. And of course, we're live on YouTube, and of course we are uploading to YouTube on a daily basis. So plenty of content on YouTube. If you see something that you like, and if you cannot watch us live, then YouTube is the place to be. Quickly switching the scenes over. You can see our schedule. Here. We just wrapped up with the Wednesday broadcast. You can see that this week our schedule is a little bit leaner, which I'm more than happy with. Our next cast is going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours with the Turtle Tussle. That is our bi-weekly Open Cup, so you can check us out tomorrow for the Turtle Tussle. You can just check us out tomorrow evening with the Pondcast, and this weekend is RSL. I don't yet know if I want to cast it. We might get permission to co-stream the RSL offline finals. We might co-stream it. We might take the weekend off. I'm still on the fence, I'll be honest. I'm still on the fence whether or not what I want to do with RSL, what I want to do with this weekend, but I got to decide soon. So we might cast RSL, we might not. For those that are curious, that is an offline tournament happening in Korea. And we casted the online version Season 2 and Season 3. And again, we might cover the offline finals. I'm still on the fence about it. We'll see what happens. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Turtle Tussle. See you soon, baby. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.